All right, guys. You know what time it is. That's right. It's time for the #1 Friday night podcast all about the amazing Star Citizen video game and the entire Twitchdom. It's the SpaceBropShow. And I'm your grand host, Mitachi. And join me is the entire crew of people. So we're just going to bring them all at once. So say hi to the guys. Look at it all messed up like that.
Oh God, what is happening right now?
I don't know.
I have no
What's he
clue.
done?
We broke it.
What's he done?
We broke it. It's perfect.
Oh my god.
Do you like it? Here. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, now there's more.
Is that
Hang on.
better? Is that better?
No, there we go.
A little better.
Oh, hold on.
Almost.
Apparently, I have to move my depot out
There
of
we
the frame.
There we go.
My
Perfect.
oh no, that was your depot.
That was my depot. It's all me. It was all me. It's okay.
I was like, how is my
We're
depot
experimenting with
affecting
something new, and this is what happens with all these things. This is what happens, guys. There you go. Taking a pie to the holiday live stream. No, if we did that, I'd have to uncomfortably shift to each member, and they'll not know they're on camera.
True.
Randomly. But hi, guys. So we have with us, obviously, as you can see, we have Mr. Scorpion here, Moist Noodle, Sergeant Tickles, as most of you were over watching him, and then, of course, the amazing Toy Grubbins here. So, welcome, everybody. This is officially the final SpaceBropShow before CitizenCon.
Woo!
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
excited.
I'm just gonna get a little
Crazy.
closer here.
There you go. Get uncomfortably close.
That's perfect.
I might be able to
That's-
pick junk out of your ear from my position, actually. So, it could be.
Yeah, could you get that for me, please?
Yeah, it's like, sorry. Excellent. No, but tonight, guys, we're going to be doing a lot of things. We're going to be talking about the weekly review, like we always do. We're going to chat a little bit more about CitizenCon itself. Not that we haven't been doing that like every night for the last 2 to 3 weeks. And then we're also going to be giving away a $25 Star Citizen gift card tonight. And this gift card's a special gift card from my heart, because this is the gift card that will put me over $25,000 donated and pledged to this amazing project. So this will be the one. It's ironic.
It's a lot of money to pay for vaporware now, Mitachi.
I know, you know, we talked about using it on hookers and blow, but we decided maybe Space Game would be more long lasting and keep my marriage intact. So we went that way. It was better.
Good call.
Yeah. I think my wife and kids think so anyway. So we'll go ahead and get that thing started. So it'll be in the background for you right there. All you got to do is ! Space Bros as always in chat, guys. Enjoy that. Noodle loud tonight. I don't think Noodle's loud. I think he's fine.
Am I loud? I'm sorry.
You are a little loud. Maybe I have you turned up. I think you're really
Just get
mousy
the
last
soft,
time.
sensual noodle tonight.
Yeah, we got full Noodle.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I got him.
Still half asleep.
It's all right. Got you.
I'm
Yeah,
doing
what time
myself
is it
there?
there?
Here we go. How's that? Is that any better? There we go. Hello.
That's better.
Sounds fine to me.
It was
It's,
fine. It was fine to me. I think maybe your audio is stronger than ours, but I adjusted on my end too. So I think your combination with my combination fixed it perfectly.
It's 5 a.m. All
okay.
coming up.
Lovely.
Please explain what full noodle means. You'll only find out if you're attending actually at CitizenCon. It's the only way you'll ever find out. It's inside knowledge. All right, guys. So, Star Citizen weekly review. We're gonna see. I don't know what's gonna happen when I hit the next scene here. This could like totally just go crazy, because like I did not expect it to like poop all over itself like that. That was insane.
That was amazing, though.
Well, it's kind of amazing ad hoc there. You never know what's going to happen. So let's jump in. Let's see what happens when I hit this button.
I think we just got raided by
A little Uber raid.
Uber raid. Uber. Thank you so much, man.
That is such a pro-looking overlay.
I know. Doesn't it? This is the way you do it, maybe. It's perfect. Duct tape.
I think I
and
saw
glue.
something like that in 1997.
Did you? It was perfect. Well, we go with the super graphics. We do have the Janeway emotes, so I mean, we are kind of like retro here.
Oh yeah,
Very retro.
there's. Oh yeah, look at that. That's great.
But again, thank you so much, Mr. Uber Nerd. If you guys haven't given him a follow, another valuable member of the team, who unfortunately was predisposed, he couldn't be here tonight. So, but that's okay. We got the guys here. We'll pick it up from where you left off. Remember when the SpaceBropShow had like 9 guests? Yes, I do remember that. We had way too many people, and we broke the stream several times doing that. But it was still fun. All right, so CitizenCon officially, guys, is exactly 4 days, 10 hours, and 9 minutes. Many of us will be landing, obviously, the day prior to that, if not 2 days prior to that, depending on when everybody's coming in. So we'll be there on the scene. We plan on doing some live streams, tweets, VODs, all that beautiful stuff for you. So make sure that you are watching all of our beautiful Twitters. And if you haven't followed everybody, I think we have all the commands individually in there. I don't have the guest command update. I'm just going to delete it because I'm too lazy to actually update it. But yeah,
get your mod to do it.
Yeah, I will. That one guy who's over here. We'll do that thing with the stuff.
Phantom Killer. Oh God.
Yeah. I don't.
I think he was talking about me.
I was talking about Toy.
Yeah, he was talking about me.
Yeah, what's a mod? Exactly. So yeah, this is gonna be pretty exciting. I can't wait. Super excited about it. I get to actually hang out with most of these guys I've never got to meet in person, so this will be the first time. Me and Toy hung out a lot last year at the one. We got to go to CitizenCon and over to TwitchCon together. This year, I will be doing the same thing with Scorpion, but then the other guys will be hanging out at CitizenCon, so that'll be pretty cool. So we'll get a good mix going. So we'll start around the room. Moist, I know it's early. Give us a synopsis of your week, what you've been doing, what's been going on, all that stuff. Go.
I've been playing a lot of Forza Horizon. I can't put it down. Also been playing Freelancer, so delving into the history, not really the history, but like the past of Star Citizen. That's a game that Chris Roberts and Aaron Roberts sort of produced years ago. They kind of left before it finished, but I've been playing that on stream as well as a little bit of Star Citizen. Other than that, pretty much DOSing as much as I can at work in my last month or so, and yeah, just hyping for CitizenCon really.
Awesome. I mean, that's really what it's all about. I remember playing Freelancer back when. I don't remember hardly anything about it though. I really don't. It's been that long ago, so I know it involves spaceships. That's
Sorry, somebody was saying in chat, wheel or go home.
Wheel or go home. There you go. Absolutely. Mr. Tickles, how about you? How's your week been? What's been going on? All that junk.
It's a wonderful week. I'm back to normal stream schedule now. I know it's been a long 7 weeks, and just streaming school and being a dad. That's it. That's literally my week. No sleep. There's no sleep in there.
No sleep available.
No.
No, you're gonna wait till after CitizenCon to get some sleep.
Yeah, that's. I plan on doing some of that on the plane because I arrive at the airport at 4:30 Tuesday morning. My airport to leave, not at CitizenCon. I get into. I don't know about you guys, but I get into Texas at 11:30.
Look what just popped up on my watch, Moist.
The alert.
Oh, nice.
I was like, look down. I
needle.
see. Like he's on my screen everywhere.
The
now.
moist alert.
I was like, what is this?
So my plane arrives at 10 p.m. on the Monday evening. So yeah, then I'm just going straight to the pub.
Well, of course.
Yeah, I am gonna be there at I think 2:50 in the afternoon. So I'm probably the latest. Well, I'm the latest member of the team getting in. Eden Star isn't getting in until 10:30 at night. Which,
Ouch.
yeah, I was like, she's actually gonna miss the Bar Citizen, unfortunately, but that's just the way her tickets worked out when she bought them earlier. So, Toy, how's your week been? What have you been up to, man?
It's been good. You know, I start the streams with the little CitizenCon stuff, you know, CitizenCon past. And then we jump into the games and stuff and play some games. I've been playing this game called Ring of Elysium. It's like a PUBG, but better than PUBG game.
Free to play one on Steam. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's a good game.
It is. And today I trolled Major Surge so hard I made him uninstall the game.
Oh.
Because there was like reviews on there saying that there was malware in it and stuff like that. So I posted the reviews in my Discord. He started asking questions, and then of course everybody else started chiming in. And he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, it's horrible. You got." He went and uninstalled it.
Like,
then I'm like, "All right, go download it again so we can go play now."
There you go.
Like,
wow,
that's funny. It's crazy sauce. That's cool. Mr. Scorpion, how's your nap?
Nap was pretty good.
All right.
I needed that. I get up really early during the week, so
I was
get
gonna
up
say
at like
you do. You're
5 a.m. Well, between 4:30 and 5. So
yeah, you get up when my wife gets up to go to work. That's why she is currently snoozing right now. That's her whole deal. She's 4 a.m. and then she gets home. She's home at 3:30, and then working here, and then in bed. So.
Pretty much. So it makes for a really long day, and especially when I don't get out of work when I'm supposed to, which happened quite a bit this week. And so that's why I don't usually stream a ton during the week. But luckily, it's a holiday weekend. In case you don't know, the big holiday we have on Monday is Columbus Day, which is kind of a controversial holiday in these times, but still a holiday. And so I got to leave work a little earlier today, so I got home, at a good time. So I went ahead and streamed for... Still got a good 4 hours and still was able to nap, and then and I'm here, so it's pretty awesome. And then I fly out Tuesday morning. I get there at 11:20, so Sergeant Tickles, we can probably figure out how to find our way over to the hotel.
I was gonna say
an Uber on the
Scott,
to the hotel.
You don't have to explain yourself, Scott. At our age, we need those extra naps.
I don't. You seem very young. I think
we're both in our early 30s, right?
Oh yes, that's right.
Don't worry. I think everybody's gonna drink enough where they're all gonna feel the same age by the time.
I'll feel my age for sure
until the next day.
No doubt. Yeah.
In the moment, it'd be good. But
the next day is when you know how old you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Toy, you get in at what time?
I think just around 1 p.m.
Okay.
Because I think Val gets in at 12:30. I think is what
I know.
he said.
It's like most of you guys are all going to be there within an hour of each other. And then we'll need to kind of figure out like maybe a lunch spot or something to like meet up at. So that way,
definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think I could check into my hotel till like 1.
Ours we don't even check
probably
later even. Yeah.
But you can
most
leave
of
your
those hotels. Yeah, you could leave your bags.
Yeah, you check in your bags with them, and then you just come back later when your room's ready. That's generally how they'll do.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I think I don't get in there till later. But I'm sure we'll just meet up and we'll do that, and we'll tweet out to everybody else who's going, so that way they know where we're going to be hanging and doing those things and stuff, and then we'll be able to get to our rooms and rally. I can't wait to see our room. That hotel looks pretty cool. So we'll see what's up. We'll have to make sure we get it stockpiled for emergency drinking or anything of water or alcohol. So
I'll post my phone number in the SpaceBro channel, so you guys can, when you get in, you can message me, and we'll find out. We'll powwow together.
And I'll copy paste it right in the chat for the entire.
Yep, right into it. just general chat at everyone.
Just post it on Twitter so anybody that needs to get a hold of you can get a hold of you.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
You know,
we got this.
I have Dr. Drone's number. I could put that right up
there.
No
hey,
problem.
Drones is a good guy. He'd be over there. It's like, what the hell just happened? My phone's blowing up.
10,000 texts.
Oh, crazy sauce. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to dive into calling all devs, guys, and we'll go through this real quick. We only have really calling all devs and then ATV to go through this week. I missed RTV, and it sounds like I didn't miss a lot.
I heard it was dogs walking around.
It was dogs walking around. Yep.
I think it was a stress relief moment for the team. They were just kind of like, I mean, they're busting their ass getting ready for CitizenCon. So I reserve judgment about this RTV disco until I see how good CitizenCon is. So if CitizenCon isn't amazing, then everybody's going to be like, well, they were just playing with their dogs all weekend. We see what happened.
Pretty much. I think it's going to be good, though.
I'm sure.
A dog and pony show, yes.
That's
A
right. Well,
time pony
maybe
show.
the ponies
Sans the
come to
pony.
CitizenCon.
Could be.
Smack the pony.
That's the
Oh.
secret. That's what it is.
I was gonna say,
We're gonna be able to buy in-game horses,
yeah.
That's
Space
the new
horses.
ship.
Drake.
Yeah.
There'll be Drake horses.
Drake
They're
horses.
gonna have the pony
Yes.
show, and that's gonna be the new announcement of the Mexican office down in Mexico.
I was gonna
Great
say you can't.
stallion.
I was gonna say a different type of animal, but
Yes.
I think I slipped up hard enough on my stream.
Oh yeah,
that,
you're making me sweat a little bit out there. I was like, well, I don't know if you can be on the
that was a
stage.
total accident, but hilarious nonetheless.
It got a little weird. Got a little weird. All right, first comment question, however you want to say it. Will space get a coordinate system in the future so we can precisely describe our location in the universe? I think while the answer generally, like they said, was yes, and they tried to go in more depth of how they were going to do that, I don't know. I kind of want to get your guys' opinion. How important and when do you think they should address this subject in the game? Do you think this is something that it could wait till beta? Do you think it's something pretty relevant right now? I mean, what do you think? Let's start out with Scorpion and we'll work our way back around the other way. What do you think? When do you think the coordinate system where I can say, hey, Scorp, he's on your...
Yeah, I think it's really tricky, right? Because I think the luxury we have here on Earth is that we can do all of that pretty much in 2 dimensions. Plus, maybe you can add an altitude if you want, right? So it's a little easier. In space, it gets tricky. It gets even trickier now when you have bodies moving around. So once we have planets orbiting and all that stuff happening, I think it gets kind of tricky. So what was suggested was to actually base the coordinate system on some body in space, like a sun or a planet or a moon or whatever else, which might work. So I don't know. It gets tricky. Is it important? Yes. Ultimately, I think we're going to want to have coordinates of some kind. Although there are other ways to do it besides having a fixed coordinate system in space. Is it going to be nice to be able to describe where things are? Yes. Do we have to have it now? No. Before beta, I think, but I don't think it has to be right now. But I think it is an interesting question to ponder because we already find ourselves in a position now of having to try and be able to figure out kind of how to find things again that we've found once before, or how to know how to get to places we want to go to or have been before. So, and there have been some unique solutions that have been created out there based on orbital markers and other points of interest. So yeah, I think it's an interesting question. I don't think it's that important right this second, though. My opinion.
Toy, what's your thought process on it?
Yeah, it's something that definitely can wait for a long time. I would like to see it in. I wouldn't necessarily want it like highlighted, but I think it would be cool. You know, we have the Mobi-Glass with these apps. And if they could just make it, you know, an app in the Mobi-Glass, you can either use it or not use it or something like that. And I do like it being like based off the center of the system that you're in. Because like you said, you get into like insane numbers if you base it off of Earth and then go out from there to every single system that's going to be in Star Citizen. You know, you'd be sitting there counting 50 zeros trying to freaking get you someplace, you know?
Yeah. 0.1.
Yep. How about you, Tickles? What do you think?
I am. I may be the outlier here, but I may be less concerned with, hey, I'm at this exact point in space, and I'm more concerned with where's our coordinate system for any planetary body.
Yeah.
I want that first.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go, hey, I found this mining node. I know it's going to be in this location. I want to mark this location.
Yep.
Or even just write it down. I'd settle with that.
Yeah.
We need a coordinate system for planetary bodies, I think, way before we need one for space. Because right now in space, you could go, hey, I'm right here. Send out a beacon. We already have that. So I'm more concerned with planetary bodies.
Yeah, and it's going to be more interesting as they continue to evolve the beacon system, because what they originally described as the beacon system is wholly different than what we currently have, right? We have the tier 0, hey, I can throw up a beacon for me. They talked about having tiers of beacons that we can actually put an anchor in space and maintain for constant like furrow points and stuff like that for people to go to and all that. We've never seen that. Beacons were supposed to be a limited quality ammo you would have to purchase and launch out of your missile bay for larger beacons. And even I would think even with your Mobi-Glass, you would have to have something that could set off this beacon like a piece of equipment is what I was thinking. Because surely your Mobi-Glass isn't powerful enough to like I could beacon from anywhere in the universe. But I guess if it's a comm link or whatever, it could go out. That's, but it's going to be interesting to see how that system evolves and how relevant it's going to make the need for the coordinate system in space or on a planet because of that. Moist, what do you think about the coordinate system? Do you think it's something that's needed pretty soon, later on? How do you feel about it?
Can we not just have space GPS?
That would be a coordinate system. I mean, that would.
Yeah, I mean, GPS is a coordinate system.
I kind of agree with you guys. I don't think it's something that we need immediately right now. Mm-hmm. The idea of a bookmark system is kind of cool. A bit like Sergeant Tickles was mentioning it. That's kind of what they use with EVE Online. But even with a bookmark system like that, you kind of need an underlying coordinate system, right?
Yeah.
So
in EVE, you can't jump to a coordinate though. It's like you have to actually move a ship or a body there. Then if you set a bookmark, you can jump back to it. But
yeah,
it's like even in space in EVE, I can't say, "Hey, Sergeant Tickles, this guy is at Z12 Alpha 3." There's no way for you to be able to do that. I can say, "Here's a physical bookmark where we hid the loot. You can go to that and get your stuff." So
I kind of wonder whether this is still kind of stemming off from when people were complaining about not being able to blindly quantum anymore. That's kind of what this feels like.
I'm afraid if we got a coordinate system in anytime relevantly soon, I think that whole argument would come back up, right? Because then it's like, hey, I should be able to drop a pin there and anybody could go to coordinate whatever because I have it marked.
Yeah.
And maybe
I'm
be avoided.
In terms of, plotting coordinates and jumping to those coordinates, I'm really not that bothered right now. I agree with Sergeant Tickles. As long as I can kind of bookmark a location kind of specifically on a planet or a moon, I would kind of be happy. I can see why people would want to plot bookmarks in space as well with asteroid mining coming in. But coordinates whatever. Future.
On my personal opinion is I don't ever want to have a coordinate system that like lays a grid across the entire universe because I think that eliminates what's the point of exploration, really? Then I mean, what's the point of like scanning and all these things if you have everything mapped out? Sure, you can scan, but then you'd instantly be able to know. Well, I scanned long range scan. It's over here. It's at Z219 or whatever. I like the idea though of positional systems on known planets and knowing those things. Like I think on the ground and planets, it makes more sense to have grids or anything you've used a recon cyclone for and you've mapped yourself. I think you should be able to have a grid for that. I think anywhere you want to share a bookmark to a friend, you should be able to do that. But I don't want to have everything predeterminately laid out. I want to be able to set my own bookmarks, just like we did in EVE or any of the other games, and share those with my friends, whether that's through beacon system or whatever. But I don't want to wait till beta for that. I don't think it needs to come in today, but I think it needs to come in soon. And even more important than coordinate system, we need some sort of directional dial like on the turrets. I want to have like...
I've been saying that. That's been my preach for a long time.
Yeah, I've been saying it since I've been playing. I'm like, okay, he's on your 12 o'clock. Well, you don't know your orientation because there's nothing on your... Like, it doesn't even make sense.
I feel like that would be something ridiculously easy to program in.
It doesn't have to be programmed.
It couldn't be that hard.
They could draw it on there. It could be part of the turret. Like if you're rotating around, maybe it's just like a regular sundial, and like your 12 o'clock true 12 is the same as everybody else's. So if everybody rotated that way, at least you'd have some reference system. It doesn't have to be a huge HUD overlay. It just needs something to help give some orientation to all the gunners and stuff. And I know they're talking about the tech where everybody can see, like the captain can see where all the turrets are, aiming, but it doesn't give a good grid for anybody else. And I say the same thing on plants and stuff. If I send a recon cyclone down to map the surface, what's the point in that? And I know that's not in yet, but that's the whole point of that entire vehicle. And in some ships, you're going to be able to map out areas. You'd need a coordinate system to be able to do that. And I don't think basing it off the sun is going to make sense. I think it's going to be whatever reference points you used. You're just going to get the topography of whatever the area is. And then you say, okay, this is this area. I bookmarked it with a beacon or something. Share that to your team. And then you're going to have your reference points there. That's what I think.
I don't think it wouldn't be too hard. I mean, they've got multiple already laid out grid systems that we have here on Earth that we use every freaking day. That they could pick from and put in. It wouldn't even.
Well,
now
think
you
about
could
this.
pick your own grid system,
Yeah.
but it would not be hard to go. Okay, this is the coordinate system we're going to put in.
The whole game's already gridded. We have object container
exactly.
streaming, right? So it's already mapped the whole thing into objects. So it's already kind of gridded in some way. I mean, so it's not like it's unplausible to do. It's just the fact that how do they want to implement it and what's going to make sense in the game and what's not going to take away from other features of the game. You know, you want it to be relevant and tactical for people to share together, but I don't want it to be so overbearing like I feel like everything's already laid out for us and it's something that, you know, everybody can reference. Like, if we map our own grid, for example, in a combat situation, like through recon drones or the Cyclones or whatever, maybe if I say something Z2 Alpha, that only actually makes sense to us because it's on our map, right? If somebody intercepts our comms or anything else, it has no bearing on them. But if it's a gridded, everybody has the same map thing, and I say it's on Z2 Alpha, everybody's going to know exactly where that is. I'd much rather just have our own self-mapping tech, like what they're talking about with previously. That's what I want, because then it's all different to everybody. So, and if for explorers, if they want to sell an area or a jump point or something like that, they have to drop a beacon. They sell the beacon location to somebody, just like what they originally described, and it just works that way. And it's up to that explorer to sit there and maintain that beacon up until it either expires or whatever. And that's the whole deal with that. And then that would eliminate the need for permanent bookmarks. All right. I feel like we went more in depth than they did on that question, but yeah. I always
Probably
do.
a little bit.
I always do. That's okay, though.
We're a passionate bunch. What do you want?
Yeah. I mean,
What would you rather have? I really don't care.
yeah. It's like we always talk about game systems. I believe in game systems that empower people to have emergent gameplay experiences that aren't like, hey, everything's laid out for you, but they're tools to use to make your gameplay more viable and relevant and based on teamwork. And that's the tools I want in the game. And I think any tool that highly applies to the mass group of people, teamwork-wise, whether you're combat or non-combat or whatever, those tools need to go in immediately. That's my opinion. I know everybody else is like, hey, can wait till later. I'm not going to be that soft touch about it. I want tools that empower teamwork to be in yesterday, because those are the things we need, whether it's multi-crew stuff, whether it's mapping tech, whether it's sharing different beacons out. I feel like you're just cutting your own balls off if you don't put in emergent gameplay, features. That's what you need in. And it could be small things like that make a huge difference. So
I agree.
that's the way it is. All right, next question. If I salvage a fuel tank off another ship, can I use any of the fuel inside to get me home? I think most of us knew this already, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Moist.
Well,
No, I was just going to say, I remember them saying not initially, which is kind of what you would assume, right? We're talking about tier 0 implementation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
well,
want to
wouldn't
use the
you
claw.
think
Mm-hmm.
that if a tank gets blown off a ship, the gas is probably going to spill out?
Or it's going to explode if it has oxygen
Yeah.
around it, or whatever fuel source
Something.
it's going to burn. I think the only way they even mentioned it in this question was if you had the Vulture and you wanted to siphon the gas with those refuel drones or something like that, theory crafting from them. I think those are the type of things, some sort of recovery process like that. I'd say, sure, why not? I mean, if they're going to use some sort of salvager or anything like that, I would think the salvagers would be intelligent enough. If you take the time to extract the tank and you want to pull out that measly amount of fuel to get back, then hey, maybe that'll be fine. But
What if you're reclaiming a Starfarer? Okay, I could see that, but not tier 0 or 1 or even 2 probably.
not tier 0. And if it was probably even tier 1 or 2, it would be just an automatic thing. I salvage this, I just recover fuel right in my inventory.
Right.
It's just there. It's not like we're actually going to have that gameplay feature in there like that. So, but it would be kind of cool to be able to like sneak up on a Idris and take all the gas out of it. I can see out there in spacesuit, siphoning gas, just letting it leak out into space. Like, oh yeah, now trying to jump after me so much.
They're never going to allow all that to happen anyways,
No.
because they already said they want you to go to gas stations to get gas. So you're not going to be able to refill every single ship out there.
No.
And if you can siphon gas like that, then you can refill a ship out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be special tools or special something that would have to do it, and it'd be certain circumstances. For sure. All right. I don't even understand this question. I understand why people upvoted it because there's a lot of Banus fans out there, right? But Scorpion, you can take this one. What do you think about this question where they're saying, what are the current high-level design goals for the Banu Merchantman, and has it changed from all its original intent? Like,
I mean, I think the thing. Well, so all right. So, all Banu Merchantman fans, plug your ears right now.
yeah.
The Banu Merchantman is still a long ways away from really seriously being looked at, and they don't know anything about how it's actually going to work or what it's going to do yet right now.
Yeah.
They just because even the idea of this floating bazaar thing, like that sounded great 4 years ago when the concept came out.
Yeah.
But the world we're going to be in, like the virtual world we're going to be in now, is going to be completely different. Who knows where it's even going to be? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
I mean,
so,
like,
you know.
let's play this out for a second here. Say they have the bazaar thing. Who in the hell's going to go to this store shop that you're going to land down and throw this down? Except for the only relevant gameplay I can see from it is if they allow NPCs or villages. Like if you go around
Yes.
and you drop down your bazaar and you have NPCs coming there, that would be kind of cool looking.
That'd be kind of cool. Yep.
I'd find it boring as shit. I mean, it's like, hey, let's go to our village. We're gonna sell goods, okay? And then goes up and go there. It's
So I had a similar thought when I saw somebody post on Reddit this week, and it takes us off topic slightly, but it's
That never
essentially the
we
same
don't go
thing.
off topic here, Moist.
No.
What are you thinking?
It's essentially the same issue in that somebody was posting about how they're going to be an admiral of this fleet, this, that, and the other. And I'm just sat here thinking to myself, I see a lot of people saying how they're going to, have their fleets, so on and so forth. I'm starting to get the feeling there's not going to be enough players because
Too many
everybody
chiefs,
wants
not
to be
enough
the captain. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a similar problem, I think, that they're going to have with the merchantman, because you're going to have lots of people with merchantmans and then nobody to actually buy the shit.
Well, let's say for example, they end up making it single shard universe, right? Say that everything works out well. Star Citizen goes, we can have 1,000 players, let's say, in a instance or in a specific zone. So I don't know how many of you guys you own a Banu Merchantman right now?
No, I only have useful hauling ships.
Okay.
I only have good ships.
Okay. Well, I can say off the top of my head, I know 15 people that have them.
Oh, that's shade.
They go to a moon, they go to a planet, they go to one of these villages or something like that. They lay them down, and they're doing it. Is it just gonna be like crop dusting, like merchantmen competing, dropping shops everywhere? It's like a mobile mall.
It's going to be a mobile bazaar.
It doesn't make any sense to me gameplays wise. Is it cool for an RP session? I think it'd be amazing. I think you'd have one of the best RP moments ever with the Banu Merchantman. I think you'd go inside and you have these shops and all these people could play these different roles of characters and have all these backstories and be really neat. But as for a practicality for economic purpose of like having a bazaar, pointless. Personally, what I would do, I would throw the fucking bazaar out. I would totally throw it out. I would make it what it was originally described besides the bazaar, and it was described as a blockade runner specifically for moving goods around in addition to having the stores and things of that nature, because that was historically what the Banu did with it. As a human player, if I was like going to be kind of a smuggler, that would be my ship. I want the ship that can outrun everybody, blast through like Imperial or UEE blockades and things of that nature, right? That would be badass. I would focus on that. Basically, everywhere where I feel like they failed with the Mercury, and I know people are going to go, failed with the Mercury. I'm like, yeah, they failed with the Mercury. They made the Millennium Falcon in game and hoped you bought it, and I'm sure some of you guys did. The Banu Merchantman is actually fully role based to where it has a big effing gun, awesome straightaway, thrusting as way it's described, and it would hold a significant amount of cargo that could punch through enemy lines in order to get through blockades and things like that. And I would add one extra little tweak. I would make it able to be very unsusceptible to interdiction. And that thing would just be like the cherry on top, right? That would be an amazing thing. Like the Banu figured out, well, everybody gets interdicted in all these areas, but not us, because we have the tech to circumvent most of that interdiction unless you have like the best of the best interdictors. You can't stop a Banu Merchantman. That would make that shit fire.
But see, this is what I think they're going to do. And Myers hitting on the same point I was going to hit on. I think it's going to end up being like the Genesis Starliner, where you go to these planets, and depending on what shops you have, people come and buy stuff off your ship.
Yeah.
The more rare stuff you have, and basically if you have high-end stuff, maybe you go to high-end areas. You get low-end stuff, you do better on low-end areas. And yeah, it'll be more of an NPC sale than a player to player.
There's more people that own a Banu Merchantman than in the game than will shop at a Banu Merchantman.
Right.
Think about that for a minute. Do you know more than 15 people that would go to every different Banu Merchantman and shop? I just don't see that.
I wonder if Little Bit of Madness has one. Can you imagine Little Bit of Madness's shoe emporium? Oh my god! It's going to be amazing.
Shoes and salt from all over
shoes
the
and
world.
salty shoes.
Types of salt.
Yeah, it is difficult sometimes to remember the whole
how do you just have salt
concept, right? Where it's 10 NPCs to one person. And so I think they want to craft a lot of gameplay around NPCs doing things, and I think that'll work out fine. For people who want to do that, I think it's going to be great. Yeah. Go on the road and sell things.
I mean, right now, we don't have enough unique items. Even if players could open up their own shop in there, what are we stocking it with? Stuff we go to Grimhex and buy?
Overpriced shoes and Widow.
And you don't have enough universe when the game comes out to do it.
Something to bear in mind, however, is that they do have a team dedicated to designing brands and products.
I get that.
And that's all that team does.
How many solar systems do you think there'll be at beta of this game? How many
beta?
do you think they'll have done?
3.
Moist, any guesses?
I'm going with 1, because anything more than 1 is a pleasant surprise.
There you go. All right. Well, my whole point is, think of the backstory of this. All right, I went to the far reaches of the same solar system and I found this really rare good that you could have went and got yourself. And like brought it to that's the whole thing. These things, these ships, the whole marketing point was the Banu could go everywhere, right? They have trades with the Vandul. They have all these different aspects and types of things that they could get. And as a human player, it's like, oh, this is cool. All this mystery and intrigue. Trust me, I got 15 of them on buyback. I could unlock one anytime I want, and they're a popular ship, and I think they're neat. But I can't think of a practical purpose of how it's going to actually be used in the game. Like in the actual game, except for like Myers thing and what we were saying with NPC interaction. And if that's your gameplay, I think you would be consumed with that just to be able to turn a profit out of it, because it's going to be a hell of a fuel cost in this thing. It's a big ship.
Got to sell a lot of shoes to keep it fueled.
That's a lot, yeah. It actually is fueled from Nikes. Shoes, not hydrogen.
Yeah, you burn the extra shoes.
It's going to be really good for the RP community, though, right? And for the people who want to get that kind of Firefly landing on a planet, going to this outpost thing. It's going to be that kind of a feel, right? I think that's cool.
I just want to be able to modify it for a more wider audience too. Maybe have the Bazaar for some people and be able to do that gameplay. But that blockade runner description, there's really no other cargo ship that's described as a blockade runner.
So you're saying variants?
Well, no, maybe modularity.
Or modules.
Yeah, like what they did with the Apollo, right? Where you could choose different types of medical bays inside. Maybe you could have the Bazaar, or you could trade out for extra cargo space or something. I don't know. Different things of that nature. But I see
or extra non-interdiction modules.
Yep, something like that. That would be really cool. And I think to be able to deploy it and pass interdiction and do those things would make that ship super valuable.
It would. That would be awesome.
You know, those type of things.
That'd be a game changer.
You couldn't make it totally immune, but maybe it's like it won't stop at every size interdiction bubble, or it won't stop by every type of interdiction. You have to put in the big bad boy stuff in there to like actually stop it. And I like those types of things with tiers. I don't want like everything gets interdicted by one. Like my the smallest fighter shouldn't be able to put up something and interdict like capital ships, in my opinion. It should take like another capital size type generator in order to interdict a capital. So
I think we've beat this one to death.
I know. Reload's like, we need to
You know
block
what,
this mechanic
I would
now.
We
love-
should say Banu Merchantman another 5 times.
Do you know what I look forward to seeing though? You know how there's all these abandoned malls across America? Like
Yeah.
Daymar just has a
Abandoned,
sea of
God.
abandoned
Banu
merchantmen.
merchantmen. It's like this once was a thriving marketplace, and now all this is desert. And Banu's
Well,
just
what'll
falling
happen
now,
is-
I can see.
What'll happen is you'll have a bunch of senior citizens walking around the decks to get some exercise.
They'd be
well.
repurposed.
Yeah, exactly.
Repurpose
That's
something
right.
else. That'd be good. Yeah, Banu. The only thing that tops the Banu conversations if you start diving into Carrick.
Give Carrick.
Carrick.
Carrick is life.
So much Carrick.
Because
Carrick.
exploration's in the game and we need it now.
We do. Right.
Okay, I'm a big Carrick guy, don't get me wrong.
Carrick's
But
the ship that can do everything in the game.
Yeah.
It can do it the best,
I-
but that should wait for a long, long time before.
You know,
we
if
get
the
it.
community could prioritize ships being built, everybody would build the Banu and the Carrick and sit there and go, look what we got. We can line up the Reclaimer that does nothing in the game with the Banu that can trade nothing with the Carrick that can't explore shit, and it'd be perfect. And
well,
then
how
you have
many,
a bunch
how many
of dog
exploration
fighters
ships have
flying
we gotten in
around.
patches?
Yeah.
We've gotten, gosh, what the Terrapin, the 600i exploration,
Mhm.
and I think one other one, and there's no exploration in the game at all.
Well, we have the Herald too, and that does.
There is.
Info running, yep.
Yep.
I will have you know that I explore at least once a week and find the Javelin wreck every time.
But you can do
Not
that.
bad.
Now, see, if you had that system where we had grids and you could pin it, you wouldn't have to explore anymore.
exactly.
And it would be nice if I could sell those coordinates.
Yeah, you got to sell the
would.
coordinates
And I think
and then
until,
drop your
Yeah,
bazaar there.
until they have something you can do with coordinates or probes, I personally vote to outlaw the word exploration inside Star Citizen, because like everybody says, I go out exploring. I'm like, I don't call it exploring like what I think of in space genre. It's more exploring like my 6-year-old does when he walks into somebody's new house. Like where he just wanders around and sees crap.
What's in that room?
Yeah.
Oh, we already know what's in there, but I don't.
Yeah, exactly. That's the type of exploring you do right now in Star Citizen. That's why
Hashtag
it's
release
fun.
the probe.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Whoa,
CRT.
hey, whoa, that's a different show.
Yeah.
That was my stream earlier. You can't.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right, now we get the all-important question of when will we be able to trade subdued NPCs and players as a commodity?
Slave trade.
Yeah. God.
Let's skip over this one.
There's nothing.
PC
it's
and all
not
that.
going to happen.
It is really, no time soon.
Do you, really,
for-
do you really think a California-based company? I know it's based all over, but a California-based company is going to allow like slave trade in the game?
Not last in the media.
I'll just put my notes away then if we're not talking about it. So
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a thing.
But I think it does lead into bounty hunting and stuff.
It does,
So-
and that's a whole nother slippery slope, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah, we could talk about bounty hunting and the theoretical systems they have all night. So
Yeah. It basically boils down to one question, like, are they going to allow us to inhibit somebody else's gameplay like that? And if not, how you circumvent that, you know?
I like what Disco said when he said that the kind of initial thought is, okay, say I go and I capture Moist Noodle, and I know he'd want to be there for the whole thing, but his character
No, I'm
goes
fine
off
with it,
somewhere
carry on.
else. His character goes off somewhere else, and then you just have this NPC version of his character.
Yeah.
You go turn them in for the reward,
I like that, too.
and that doesn't inhibit his gameplay at all, and
Yep.
you still get your reward.
I
But what
think-
happens if his character that's actually in the verse doing stuff runs into his character that's an NPC that's not doing stuff?
I would
Does
think
the
that character would
verse implode?
despawn then,
Okay.
unless you're just talking about that would divide by 0, and
the
that wouldn't
universe
be
would
good.
explode.
I think you get a crash to desktop at that point.
I think the biggest problem wasn't even that from my mind, because I like the NPC version. I think it's just like you have this token of who that is, and they're going there, and you're going to turn them in or whatever. The problem you run into with that is the prison planet that they talked about.
I don't think that's going to be a thing. There'd be a riot.
I stated that to begin with, and everybody shouted me down. They're like, "Oh no!" And then they actually went on the air and had one of the devs totally talk about and describe the prison planet and how they want to do this whole thing, and and I'm like, how do you opt out?
There's
of that?
no way that's going to be.
Look at even Uber Nerd in chat says it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, me and Uber had this conversation, and they backed him up on it. They said, yeah, they want to do that, and I'm just like,
so
okay.
The answer, folks, is just don't commit any crimes.
No, the answer is going to be
because
they're going to give the player
I could say I want
opt out of everything, and I'm like,
I could just put up a bounty and go, you know what, bring me Scorpion, and someone would go and get you, and then you'd be stuck on this prison planet, even though you did nothing wrong.
I think the way the bounty system would work, only way you go to prison planets through actual UE criminality, because it is a UE.
Yeah, because if you just go capture him, then you become the criminal.
Yeah,
right. But I'm saying, what's to stop someone from putting a bounty on anyone?
Well, because bounties only work like this. If you do a bounty that's not, hey, he's a criminal. There's two ways in my mind bounties would work in this. It wouldn't be like EVE Online where you can just, hey, I'll just type in a number and put a price in his head, and then whatever happens, happens. In EVE Online, that's the way it works. And the only way to collect those bounties is to murder the person. That's it. There's no other way. That's the only way it works. In this game, because death's so relevant, if you put a contract or a bounty on somebody, you could put a bounty on somebody to either reclaim an asset, or maybe do them harm, or take property or something like that. That, if you get caught, or you're the person you hire get caught, is in UEE space, is a criminal action. And if they turn you in, you get criminality for contracting a bounty. But
so you're saying that the only people that are going to go to the prison planet are UEE sanctioned bounties?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So like if Moist comes up and blows up your ship, that's recorded on comms and stuff like that. You report the incident, right? That's all you do. You don't even cost you money. That puts a contract on his head from the UEE. If they capture him, then he goes to prison planet. That's the way I would say it work.
Unless we have current criminality
terrible.
system.
I know.
We have the current criminality system where if someone blows up your ship, you get criminal status.
Yep.
And they go away scot-free. Because that literally happened tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Someone ran into me. I exploded. I got full criminal status.
Yep. Story of my life.
That doesn't sound like something that happens in Star Citizen.
No, that would never happen.
Here's the dilemma here later on. Because what happens is a pirate comes and attacks you, and you defend yourself and blow them up, and you become the criminal because you blew them up.
It won't be that way.
Although they initially attacked you.
The devs already said it won't be that way. That's tier 0 because it has no weighs and balances. Right now, it only measures aggression, and it doesn't do it well. It's just like there's something aggressive happen, and it just applies that criminality to whatever the system thinks is the aggressor.
They've talked about it recently, didn't they? It was on a reverse to verse or a calling all devs or something.
Yep.
And they basically said, yeah, no, it's not working as intended, and this is how it's going to work eventually. And they went through it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because right now it doesn't do a good job of knowing who did what or all that stuff. And in the future, somebody with a criminal rating, I would say it'd be a legal shoot on sight. If somebody's like a certain, say, for example, like a GTA reference, if they're a 3-star or better criminal, then you can legally shoot them with no repercussions. But if they're a 2-star or 1-star, you can contact the UEE. You can't aggress them yourselves unless they aggress you. And lots of games have these combat systems, like EVE Online the same way. If somebody aggresses you first and you fire back and you end up killing them, you get no repercussions because they started it. And the game system detects all that. So that would be...
Hey, I'm totally down for that. We need a better system, but I don't think that's top priority.
No. Soon, TM.
So slave trading, I don't think it's going to be a thing.
Nope, not a thing. So now we'll move on to ATV.
The actual meat and potatoes.
The actual meat and potatoes. I have lots of good things to say about this ATV. Not necessarily related to like an abundance of information, but I don't expect the last ATV before CitizenCon to have a huge amount of info. But I really have to applaud the balance of what Sandy and Chris did there. I loved how Sandy went back in and kind of explained and questioned what Chris was saying to kind of dumb it down for those of us who aren't having that high level of knowledge about what Chris is talking about. Like, if you don't follow the game as aptly as like a lot of us do or anything of that nature, if you just check in on the game, Sandy was like kind of translated down what he was saying about the whole scope of different parts and systems of the game, like OCS, and what that meant and the relevancy to the game and what it meant to not have to have two different dev branches supporting it. And I thought this was one of the best ATVs with both of them on it, as far as like giving information and how that works.
I agree.
Yeah. Very good.
Sorry, yes, that format is really, really good. I think they did it last week too, and yeah, I like it. I don't think Chris can be on every ATV probably, but that format is really good. And even though we all know it's scripted and everything, it still works really well for that show. I like that a lot.
I don't know. I know it's scripted about what they're going to talk about. I don't think it's scripted. They're interchanged.
Sandy asking questions seemed a little bit more ad hoc to me.
I thought it sounded very scripted, but I think she's just getting better at
it's scripted.
I hope they script it, because otherwise you have to script it if it's in the show. But
it's certainly
I think it still comes across really well, and I think it works. I think it works well overall.
Well, Xylo said that
I think
interchange isn't scripted.
Oh, really? Is that what he said? Okay,
he said that what they talk about. He didn't say what they talk about is, but he said their interchange is very natural, and that's what it is. They just video it and do it. They don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's tell because they do come across quite wooden when they're on script, but they the moment it hits like Sandy asking questions, they just their whole body posture just changes. They become less sort of rigid.
I feel like the questions may have been if not scripted pre, like, hey, this is what he's going to talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe ask about this. Maybe ask about that.
Yeah.
If not scripted, then it's definitely guided.
It's definitely guided.
Ask what he's talking.
Yeah.
It's not if it's not 100% scripted, because I know what he says. He doesn't do two scripts when he goes on a tangent.
He couldn't do a script like that anyway. That's all straight off the cuff. I think
he can speak to all of it.
I feel like though you're seeing a natural exchange between both of them. I'm sure that she's been has some guidance on some of the subjects to do with what he's talking about, but I think it's a natural exchange between them. So
yeah. Either way, it's very good, and it works really well.
Yep.
And they should do that much more.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will definitely say that my wife and I could never do that. So good on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's too many people here for me to say the thing I was going to say that would prove that it's not scripted.
I was gonna say something, but I
don't want. I might actually see Sandy soon, so I don't want her to beat me to death. So I don't want to say that. But I'll tell you guys off the air.
Mr. Awesome has a tour.
Yeah. How dare you reload? How dare you question our savior? Yeah, I think a lot of this is, and you can tell. I don't know. I'll just say it like this. This is a nice way to say it. I can tell when Sandy's acting and when she's actually naturally asking a question.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I will say there was one point where it was very clear that it was not completely scripted. But again, I agree with Sergeant Tickles that there are probably they've obviously talked about the fact that they're going to do that, so it's not like completely off the cuff. But I agree that I can also tell in certainly.
Can you tell when Sandy's reading a script or not? Let me just tell you that. Can you tell when Sandy's reading line by line a script?
You mean when she says words completely wrong?
When she's reading any type of rehearsed script on anything, I can tell.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying you can tell when she's reading lines from a script. And so when she's very naturally flowing, it's entirely different Sandy than when she's script reading.
Right, well, she's not an actor.
The words of Matachi do not reflect my personal opinions.
Well,
she's
you
not an
say
actor.
she's
That's
not an
okay.
actor. Why don't you go ahead and type Squadron 42 IMDb into Google and see what comes up?
Okay, there's a difference between voice acting.
Anyways,
covered that one.
Yeah. This was awesome. Skynet put out this 50-man fight out in space and then on the ground. I think they actually did this like a week and a half before this ATV, though. I think it was mentioned a couple times. Wasn't it mentioned in the last ATV as well?
I thought the last one was a French group.
Maybe. I seem to see the mining laser killing the 50 people, though. I thought that was over a week and a half ago. Maybe that happened right when they were shooting that ATV, and now it's just in this ATV. Because I saw it on Reddit. I don't know. It's been a little while, it seemed like. So maybe not.
The script was on Reddit.
Yes. Something like that. They talked.
I thought it looked awesome.
Yeah, I thought it looked really cool. I think it's, if we could get it to run with that frame rate post 3.3, I think it's going to be really, really good. They talked here about the channels. I don't know how I feel about this. I think we'll have to dive into them and stuff. What do you guys think about the comm system changes that they keep showing, like how it works in Mobiglass to have different channels and all these things? What do you think? Tickles, how about you?
As long as I don't have to scroll for 7 minutes to get to landing pad authorization, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
There is a spider staring straight at me. Sorry,
Don't worry
I got
about it.
totally distracted. Go away, dude.
Is it really large?
It's actually really small and very fast.
Oh, it's like one of those little jumping spider guys.
I had one hanging from my microphone over here when Scorpion was playing with his rickety mic. Boom.
As soon as you
I
said
saw
"go
it.
ahead, start Tickles," this motherfucker like crawled up like,
Yeah. He's like,
"What's up, dude?"
What's up?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
He's my enforcer. He was just.
I'm not afraid of spiders, but I don't want them jumping at me because the little ones, man, those things are fast. But anyways, I'm totally down for a new comm system, new layout, and I know are these text channels they're talking about or voice channels?
That's what I'm a little confused on. I think they're mostly text channels, like in game you can separate between party, people, all that stuff. But at the same time, I don't know. All the Mobiglass interface stuff I keep seeing, I'm just not really overly excited about going in my Mobiglass to get everything all the time. It just seems kind of cumbersome to me.
Yeah,
Where else are you
issue
going to get
that
it though?
I
I mean,
have
for our penis.
is the amount of time it takes to lift the arm. I know that sounds really stupid, but waiting for that animation to play, it's probably just because we have that bug at the moment where it goes up, down, up.
Yeah, up
So
and
it
then you
feels
look
like it's
down and then
extra
up
It
long
and
makes
then
us hate our Mobiglasses. They're awesome looking, but it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to use it for anything. It's like it's ever since they picked the map, like you could actually just look, right? You could actually just look and jump somewhere instead of going in your Mobiglass every 5 seconds to make a jump. I don't know. I don't like using my
once
Mobiglass.
it's working wonderfully, I think it's going to be easy. When you can transition between the screens without milliseconds, some that you can count of delay, or I should say seconds if you can count them. Delay, all sorts. If I go, hey Noodle, what time is it? You look at your watch, you're like, I hold on. There we go.
Again, and this is the thing. Like, I'm a douchebag that wears a smartwatch in real life. And the reason I wear a smartwatch is because I just want to see what notifications I'm getting on my phone to see
I
if it's
agree
working, actually getting my
100%.
phone from my pocket.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I don't lift my arm like this and look at the smartphone. I just glance down at it to see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole slow animation in the game.
And you don't have to go through
we
6
need-
menus to find your notification, right?
Yeah.
It's on
yeah,
top.
we need something.
I mean, it's right there.
Yes, but what if your smartwatch projected a HUD? Then you would hold it in a certain position
And
because ours does project a HUD.
And if I need to do something that's going to take me 2 or 3 minutes, that's fine. I can hold it up here. I can map something out, like setting a destination like they're talking about. That's great.
Right.
But the chat channels, I just want to be able to hit F12 and just pop it up and pop it down.
Yes.
I really don't want to go in and I'm not going to make 50 different channels here unless I can activate them in my HUD very easily. Now, I'm okay to go in here to set them all up, right? But I'm not going to sit there and be like, every time I need to talk to a certain person, a certain channel, I'm going to raise my arm up, go into comms, read through all the things, and then click on I'm not doing that.
So in my opinion, they've gone down this road with the Mobiglass now, which is, it is what it is. But if you think about what would make the most real sense, right, in the world now of smartwatches that you can look at, but also Google Glass, augmented reality, VR, the fact that we're going to be wearing helmets a lot of the time, the fact that in the future we could conceivably have a contact lens that displays things for us, right? they could do this in a really, really smart way where this could be completely unobtrusive, still let you just hit F12 to pull something up, but it would actually be putting it in your eye or something, so it would make sense on why it's there, versus having this really clunky kind of wrist-based 27-inch monitor, right? Kind of that you have to pull up every time. So I just think that, it does seem kind of clunky, right? And above all else, it's going to take time. It obscures everything else you're doing. You can't move or even fly while you have this thing up. And if it's going to be the hub of our communication, that's going to cause immense problems, because that means no one's going to want to use it to communicate, and we're all just going to use Discord. So I think that they're going to need to rethink it at some point. I think they're going to need to really seriously rethink it.
All I'm going to say is Iron Man and Jarvis.
Right. 100%.
Right on your mask. If you want to pull it up, boom, it's there. And since we have VoIP, how nice would that be? Because the game's going to be listening to us now.
Yep.
And I'll tell you,
pull up map. Pull up, yeah.
And the way,
Graham, lower the landing gear. No, Graham, don't pour me a coffee. Lower the landing. Oh,
Okay, this already went bad.
to be honest, the way I like the Mobiglass, but the way I would use it is if I needed something to like map out for a long period of time. Like I said, it's the same reason you'd get your tablet out. If you're going to be doing something for a while, you'd use it. Or the thing that they've worked so hard to not do with it, right? Because they don't want anybody else to see what you're looking at in your watch, right? That's exactly what I want to use it for. If I want to share information, render to texture images, or anything with my team, say we're doing FPS, we're on the ground, we're about to hit a base, I want to be able to hit my watch and bring a 3D render of the map up that you can all see hovering there. That's what I want Mobiglass to do. I want to be able to share information with guys standing around me.
I agree.
That's relevant.
Why are we not in a think tank for Star Citizen? What is wrong?
It's because the minute they went the opposite way, they're like, well, don't worry, other people won't be able to see what you're on your Mobiglass because they'll just put a JPEG up there or something, And I'm like, well, I want to be able to see, and I also want to be able to sneaky guy who can come up and say, hey, look at that guy, look what he's looking at. Oh,
well, how awesome would that be if you're like, all right, this is what we're gonna do, guys, and you put your Mobiglass out, you could put a projection up.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that
would be useful. But
that
just
is
for
the
going
future of smartwatches, right? Like everybody's
for
trying to
contacting ATC.
Yep.
Mobiglass is freaking retarded.
Yep.
And half the ship's MFDs for actually comms.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys, but I use the Cutlass a lot, and most of the time you can't get the comms up on an MFD for the Cutlass.
Yep.
So I have to go through my friggin' Mobiglass.
wait. People request landing? What? Sorry?
I'm just
What's
saying,
wrong with
It
you?
does happen.
the
from time to
future,
time.
because think about what we do with our smartphones now, guys. I mean, they have projectors in them, so people can sit down, use their phone for projectors and presentations, HDMI interface, all that. If you could do that on your watch too, that's the future watches. This is what I think a Mobiglass would do, where you can share information with everybody, pop up 3D textures. I want to be able, if I'm going to talk on my Mobiglass to somebody else, I don't want to see a flat panel monitor come out. I want that rendered to texture 3D head of a person there, where I'm talking to Tickles and it's like it's the FOIP image there. It's not like this flat 2D. I want the whole deal. That's what you think of. When you see
I
this stuff.
want Tickles' head.
Just floating around.
Right there in front of me.
And wouldn't it be so trippy? I'm sitting there talking to him, and somebody else comes up, starts talking to me, and he could like spin his head all the way around on
Like,
my
what did you
Mobiglass.
say?
And he's like, I'm not talking to you right now. And we're like, holy shit.
They're here.
Yep. Dude, I'd get double Mobiglass and just walk around 3-headed Mitachi.
It sounds cliche, more Star Wars here, but like Empire Strikes Back, when you first see the hologram of the the Emperor and they're talking and whatnot.
Perfect.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing. That's what you want.
I want that in Tier 0 implementation right now.
Right now, today. They already showed the tech in Squadron 42. It could be done.
So who thinks they're actually going to rethink how this should work versus pressing full speed ahead on this because that's what they've decided on?
Full speed ahead.
They're going full speed
Full speed
Well-
ahead, right? All right, that's what
Just
Look at that picture right
checking.
there.
Just checking.
I would normally say this is going to be my new emote, by the way. I was going to be this guy.
That is your emote right there. Yes.
Throw some more coal on that there
Yep.
fire.
But
Yeah.
no, I'm telling you though, the thing that will happen with that, I think there's a slight possibility they may see the light on this eventually.
I hope so, man.
Because you know the whole argument of the 1-to-1 turret ratio stuff we've been talking about forever, and they're like, "No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that." And then they come out with the monthly report, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have you can shut it off and do 1-to-1 turret ratio." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah." I think they're gonna have to, man.
Told
I
you.
think they're gonna have to.
yeah."
Plus, quite honestly, you know, I mean, if they do go the route of having like an eye implant or other stuff like that, they could even. I'm just gonna say this because it's probably a stupid idea, but they could even infuse a little bit of the cyberpunk kind of ethos into this a little bit, right? Which I think, you know, from a marketing standpoint, they may want to do if they can, kind of.
Oh, they will. Remember that they already had that shot of the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they're already talking about cybernetic limbs. They've been talking
The
about
terribly animated leg.
that.
Yes, I read that Reddit post. I
super
saw it.
cool.
No.
It's
It was
missing a
super
heel.
cool.
Yeah. Apparently.
What was there a bunch of like people missing limbs? Like that's not how it works.
There was a medical student on Reddit.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Some dork was like,
But it was a great post. It was a great post, though, right? And like if you look
It
at
was
it
a
after
good
you read
post.
that post, you're like, oh yeah, it's totally making that movement, but there's no heel there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny. Yeah. So that's gonna push that back by a few months.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going back into the drawing board.
For sure. Yeah.
All right.
Actually,
I'm waiting for us to go back to the whole "that's not the way airlocks work" conversation too, you know, and then it's like they're gonna redo all the airlocks, and it's crazy.
what did we start talking about?
We were talking. This is all about the Moby-Glass, and then it went
Moby-Glass, yeah.
spiraled in there. Okay, let's talk about scanning a little bit, and apparently you can discover pyramids. What do you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you guys think about the different scanning elements there? Is that a freaking flip phone?
Holy shit.
Oh no, someone in chat said
That's
Boyd has a
retro.
smartphone question mark.
Is that do you
That's
steal
a
that from a
smartphone.
museum?
Okay, is that really your phone though? It's
I
pink.
hate saying.
That ain't it.
What do you mean? Pink's my favorite color. What's wrong with you?
Hello?
So I'm gonna say, you know, obviously they spun the scanning cubes over onto an edge, and it's
Yeah.
completely new. So
I sure would
knows?
like it if the cubes actually friggin' meant something.
I know. What do they even mean?
Someone said that they read the monthly report and that they're going to mean something now. I haven't
Okay.
read the monthly report.
They
so.
are. They're gonna identify the different types of shapes and stuff. Will identify if there's a ship in that area, if it's a mining area, or different types of elements like that. I'm just not into this type of scanning. I'm not feeling it yet. I don't.
But They-
I would like
Also,
value to be
also,
I do assigned.
agree.
Moist is gonna enlighten us. Do it, Moist.
But they also said that we're going to be able to scan down ships. Not only are we going to be able to scan down ships, it will tell us what cargo is on that ship.
Oh,
That's
that'll
the
be cool.
eventual. Is that coming in 3.3?
Well, that's what they said. So
Fair enough.
We'll see.
All
that
right,
will be
well.
interesting, and that will lead towards some basic.
I still
pilot
want
gameplay.
probes. Damn it! I don't know.
Of course you do.
I'm just
Me
a prober.
Moist wants
I'm
it
just a
too.
prober. I know.
Moist definitely wants
I
it as
know.
well. Yes.
We're gonna make T-shirts to say "Team Moist probes and Star Citizen" now.
There you go.
We've seen scanning
Hashtag
in
release the
ATVs.
All the probes. Release the probes. There you go.
We've seen scanning in ATVs past that looks so much better than this.
You remember
Where
all
are
the
those
dots? I missed
scanning
dots.
mechanics?
Yeah, what happened to that
Yeah.
fuzzy like cloud dots
Yeah, the
thing? And I
fuzzy
was like,
ones,
What was
yeah.
that?
No,
Yeah,
they said
it
that was too much.
Yeah,
It's too much.
I thought that was awesome.
And you think
I
that
thought it was
Yeah.
the
amazing.
20 kilometer floating box is not too little, or I mean I don't understand like the whole
Floating
idea. It's a
I'm not sure what the
floating
box. Right. What does the box mean?
But what does it mean?
It means there's stuff in the box.
well, okay,
Go
but
open
something's
it.
It's an
scanned
object
right now,
container.
right?
Oh my god, that's an object container.
But why couldn't
That's what
couldn't they
streams
like
in.
couldn't they superimpose some kind of colors on the actual things that are being scanned to tell us like what's there or how much or like I don't know.
Big
it's the box
floating
thing.
finger. That's what.
Whatever's
There you go, yeah.
whatever is there is smaller than the box. It's in the box.
Okay,
You go there, right? And then you press the open box button, and then just there's a smaller box.
Yeah, it's a box in a box.
It's the Russian doll
And
box.
I think that Moist just described the whole way that scanning and tuning in scanning is going to work. You start with a big box, and as you tune it in, it gives you a smaller box, and then eventually you get a
Doesn't that
smaller
sound
box.
like
of that,
mining?
and that way you can precisely have the box. And then once eventually you open the box and you find out what kind of ships it's
I have a lot of box jokes that I want to say, but I'm not gonna.
I know that's it. I think Roman's got it right. This is Star Citizen's version of loot boxes.
There you go.
You just found there's the loot's in the box.
And probably if microtransactions will get us to that smaller box even quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be able to skip half the
I
boxes.
don't know. It's just
Right.
something about the box. I don't know what it is. I don't.
I hate them.
I'll use it, but
They're useless
I'm not
right
a
now.
fan. I'm not a fan. It's just a bunch
If
of fucking boxes.
okay,
I'm not a
let's say-
fan. I'm not a fan, and I refuse to use it. You can't make me see it.
There you go. Just say no to the box. Hashtag.
Okay.
Hashtag say no to the box.
You're not
We're
gonna get very far with that
gonna
one.
we're gonna be at CitizenCon with a t-shirt. Hashtag release the probes. Hashtag say no to the box.
One on the front, one on the back.
You'll make a
There
list.
you go.
Okay, the probe's got to be in the back though.
I was gonna say in the box.
Oh my gosh. Probes in the box. Here we go. TOS happening.
Shoot.
No, we haven't. We're simply talking about the game. There's no TOS
That's right.
at this point.
That's right.
T-shirts. We're talking about T-shirts for a con,
T-shirts. Yeah.
which I don't think we have time to get those made. I'm just
No,
throwing that
I
out
don't.
there.
Well,
No, I think-
I'll go to Walmart. I'll get some white Hanes, and we can get some magic markers, and we can make this happen.
Not white. Let's get. You got to get black. Black is slimming.
Brushed
You can
silver.
do white.
But where are you going
And
to
it's
draw
gonna
on?
be
Where you
rainy on
use chalk?
Tuesday.
How are you going to draw on the black?
silver paint markers.
They're silver Sharpies.
Oh my god! Yeah, Chris owns all of them.
Hashtag probe the box.
Wait!
There we
If
go.
you haven't seen Chris sign stuff, it's hilarious because Chris is so prepared because he's so used to this stuff. He literally carries like he has, or one of the other people with him carries like a fistful of markers. So he has like the black Sharpie,
The right color for your shirt.
the silver autograph Sharpie that can sign on things that are dark, and then he's like, they got the variety. I was like, holy crap! He's like had a marker for every occasion. It was perfect.
So I'm gonna have to wear my crappy Star Citizen shirt that has like the weird collar that like bacons that doesn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can bring anything because like there was literally when we were in Frankfurt, there's people that are coming up to him like, hey, Chris. And I'm like,
Sign my baby.
and they're like
God.
armloads of
Sack
stuff. One
of
guy had like
bacon.
6 posters and like 8 books, and I'm like, did you bring your closet? Like,
If I could get a CR signature on my concierge card, I'll be a happy camper. But
I did that.
that's all I'm bringing.
First. I'm gonna get my other concierge card, and I'm gonna make Chris write out. Mitt did this first,
And I'm gonna go. Tickles was second. I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've got no comeback to that.
They also talked about the developer tools here. Their
Yep, they look awesome.
Their artists are so awesome and artisty.
Oh yes,
I love.
we talked
seeing-
for
I
like
love
5 minutes
seeing
about
these
this friggin'
tools.
lamp.
Yeah.
I do like seeing these dev tools.
Yeah.
I like that beanie with like all the extra hairspace.
I just
Yeah.
love how artsy their artists are. I just love their entire whole thing. You know,
They
It's like-
they encompass it. They
yeah,
embody it
it's
fully.
It's like if you
He's a hipster.
if you did a still shot, it's forced, right? Isn't that? It's
I
like
wonder how
he's
much
gotten
time
if you
more
did still
artsy over
shot-
time.
if you lined
I wonder
everybody
how
up
much time
whether they're
spends working in Starbucks.
but if you lined up an artist there versus an engineer versus a marketing person, you can point out the artists at CIG. They are
Oh, for sure.
stereotype artist dressed like boom. As much as
Oh,
I
yeah.
am stereotype fat old gamer guy, it's like yeah, that's
Right
it
here,
there.
boom.
Yeah, boom. So I love it. I love it. It's like they get the best of the best. Yes, the best dressed, the best artist ever. It's like they're all
but then you
Well,
have
we're
Jay
talking about
Lee who
artist
just
verb.
permanently looks confused.
Jay Lee's a whole different animal altogether.
Yeah. Well, he's a little more freewheeling as a concept artist, you know?
Oh, true.
Everything he delivers is a concept, which means that it can be whatever somebody wants it to be eventually.
Yeah, it
Takes
means he
some
never
pressure.
finishes anything.
Right, right.
Look at Mitt being all quiet.
Love you, Jay Lee.
Thanks, Jaylee.
I'm waiting to get like a message from Jay Lee, like, what? No, this is a cool tool.
He's not here yet. It's still early.
You know, and the one thing I could say that is really interesting about this specific tool is the fact that he described it well as far as what it means for time saving for them. That's the part that interests me, because I don't know. I don't do art. I don't do game development. I don't have any reference. If I'm outside this, if it wasn't him presenting this and explaining exactly what this means in the scale of time, I'd be like, so these guys made a tool that spins the 3D art around. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't be irrelevant to me. But the fact he said this tool literally, when they can look at the assets, look at the lighting on it, and do all this in this one same mode and cohesively between all the studios, it saves them literally days.
Yeah.
Off of the build to do this stuff. I'm like, that's
amazing. I always get excited when they show off tools that save them time, because in the long term, it's like look at the moons for Art Court. You know, they've already completed the one moon. You know, and a lot of that comes down to a lot of the procedural tech and a lot of time saving tech that they created a long time ago that they were showing off on ATV.
Yeah.
You know,
I love it when, and this ATV had that constant theme to me, and it was subtle, so a lot of people might not have picked up on it, from Sandy kind of explaining a little more layman's terms some of the stuff Chris was talking about, to where, you know, when they're describing this tool, actually translating that into the time savings, just even a simple sentence like that. I think it makes the show more universally approachable to all types of backers, because people understand, what does this mean? If I didn't follow the project every day, if I was like, hey, popped in once a quarter, I'd be like, oh, well, great. It's a show and they got tools and stuff like this. You know, it doesn't translate to what it means for the overall scope of the project. But they're doing a great job about getting more and more communicative about what the tools do for them, what that means to us, you know, and I like that a lot. And I hope they continue to do that.
Yeah, agreed.
Sometimes when I look at him talk, I look at like, this is probably the most amount that Sandy ever lets Chris talk. It's like when they're on the show.
It does seem like that sometimes.
Once they're done filming, he stands up and she just puts her hands on his shoulders and just like guides him away. There they are, there, Chris. Go sit back at your desk. Go do some work. There we are.
Yeah. Go write some more code.
You've done good today, Christopher.
Did so good.
Does he actually write code?
Yes.
I mean,
yeah,
I know he's a programmer.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Right.
actually
There
is
was
a very
actually an
I've been told
episode
that
where
he
they
sits down
were
with
sitting
people.
there and he showed himself writing code on the game, and I was like,
Yep.
wow.
Oh, that's cool. I had no idea. I knew he was a programmer, but I did not know that he actually wrote code for the game.
Yeah, a few people have said that he sat down and just started.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder how much of it people love, and I wonder how much of it people are like, oh my God, Chris.
Go away. I
We
know how
gotta
to do my
redo
job.
the
Please,
whole
Chris, add
thing.
comments. Chris, add comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris like, hey, don't worry.
Comment
guys.
your code so we know what it does.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to add this one little thing. It's not a big deal. I just went ahead and put it in there. If you just want to clean it up for me, that'd be great, Mark. I wonder how much that happens. Like, oh, you know, I just thought it'd be kind of cool to add this one little thing. Now the ships will go like this.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we all spawn with no doors and no engines. That's how it happened.
Yeah, it'd be good.
That's like your boss coming and sitting down with you going, hey, this is how I'd like you to do your job.
Oh, I've had that conversation.
I've only done it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, Zane, what a handsome man.
So this is where they were talking about
Chris
the different,
Lumberg.
how they could set up the different consoles and kiosks and stuff with interface?
Yes.
Okay. So they
It was
basically
rather lackluster.
Yeah, it's lackluster. But again, it's another tool. It's a modular tool they can use to quickly set up a screens and stuff without having to go back and reinvent the wheel every single time through a template. They can say, okay, it's just built, and then it's built modularly to just add in the different data they want it to.
It basically, again, I really like this because I would imagine they're doing this because they want people who don't necessarily have the skill set to build this from scratch to still be able to put together interfaces.
It's an amazing tool, and I think it's definitely awesome, right? But for an ATV content, it's lackluster.
Yeah.
I loved it. And the other thing about this thing too is once they do it, like any change they make, so say they put something in and it needs just like a little tiny tweak, they got to redo, the recode. We see it in Bug Smashers. With this thing, there's no recode time. It's just boom, done.
Yeah.
Right. If the thing was at a little bit of an angle, you could just go, oh, that's at an angle, dude. Boom, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, this was as much about the fact that they basically are exposing variables in the game that you can map UI elements to, kind of via like an API. So you're not having to actually go in and write code to do these UI features.
Yeah,
right?
because
it's a big deal.
I think, they've said multiple times that the UI team is stretched incredibly thinly, and I think this is just allowing them to try and share some of that workload to other teams.
Yeah,
essentially.
It's very smart.
Well, not only that, but think about this. If you're going to make consoles everywhere, why have to remake all of this code all the time? And I know you could maybe copy and paste it and then go back in and change some coding. But if you just go, hey, here's our UI tool. This is how we make consoles. Put one here, put one here, put one here. Oh, but we want this one to do this. All right, drag that thing out, put this thing in. The whole thing about the Stanton system is making the tools to make the universe.
Yep, exactly.
And that's what this is. So I'm, like I said, as far as ATV content goes, it's like, it's boring. A lot of people will probably skip it. But I watched it because that's the whole point of the Stanton system, is to make the tools to make the rest of these 100 systems.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Did we just skip past the incorrect foot walking? Is that what
no one cares about that?
It's totally inaccurate and not realistic at all anyway, I heard.
No one cares
That's what
about
I
the
read.
prosthetics.
It's true.
I got super hyped about the prosthetics because that's supposedly, the whole death of a spaceman thing. That's what your leg's going to be. You get your leg blown off. You're going to have something. You're going to have the no heel bent back paperclip leg. You know what I'm talking about.
You just got two metal stumps.
I'm going to call mine
not again.
Clippy. So
Rip Clippy.
Rip Clippy.
I mean, what? I don't see what's wrong with this. Where are they?
No,
saying
right
is
here.
wrong with
Watch
this?
the heel toe. Wait,
There's
can
no
s-
heel.
heel toe.
look at-
There's no heel.
So-
So do you have to have a heel?
so
The way that
but
animation
it stops
was,
in
yes.
midair.
It does
The foot
stop.
stops in midair.
Right there.
See?
See how
Ready,
it stops
and
right there where they're supposed to
heel toe.
So it just needs to roll off a heel, man.
It needs to roll off the middle of the foot instead of there on that.
Yeah,
see,
instead of, yeah.
and now you're never gonna be able to unsee that, and so there has to be a heel there now.
Yep. Now they got to go in, and that's going to push 3.3
Well,
back
the
until
only reason we
mid-October.
saw that is because they did that right there. They go, and this is it at half speed.
I
If they
know.
wouldn't have done that, they kind of screwed themselves. It's like, look at
But look at
amount
the
of
rest of it.
detail.
Look at all the pistons and all. I mean, it's great. Other than the one,
right
heel.
there, the
What do you
floating
mean it's
heel.
great? How is it held onto his stump?
Right there
on the
with
back.
straps.
Look, it's got clamps and stuff.
It's got countersunk screws too.
Yeah,
the
it's
side
not
of his
keyed
leg.
into his femur.
I'm not that keen on the
So-
color either.
They screw it right through his pants, huh?
Right
Into
through
his
the
leg.
pants
through
and
his
everything.
pants.
Yes,
It's got
those are the
bolts
only
that come out
pants
the
he
side
can
of his
wear
pants.
forever.
It's got rivets that come
Wow,
to the side of his
he-
pants. You just take a hole punch. Well, well, if you want to get technical, I mean, he's still wearing pants that just tied the knot in the bottom of the leg. I mean, I have friends. I have former friends that are, they're amputees, and they don't just tie a knot in the bottom of their pants if they've lost their leg for a while or anything. They actually have them sewn, and they have clothes they can buy like that. It's like, this is like a fresh wound. Maybe they didn't have the heel emplacement ready yet, and they're still waiting for the part to come in. Maybe that's what it is. This takes a while.
I like how everyone's ignoring the coolness of this, and we're getting this stuff slowly, right? Because no one
I
made
know.
it, this tier zero
What's going on
leg.
with that
Okay,
what's going on with that kneecap?
it's got
It's
a
like
kneecap because he has to
a
kneel.
reverse sucker. Like this is.
Yeah, but it's
If
like
you kneel on that,
backwards,
you're going to get stuck to the ground, right?
We're so bad. We tear everything
People-
apart. We
People are
destroy
just like
everything.
destroying this.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
funny.
it's a
There we go.
really
Reload
thing.
nailed it. This is the
It's awesome.
Drake prosthetic.
The direct prosthetic, yeah.
Well,
So it's half-assed.
and
You
if
walk
we
along,
want to be
bits fall
critical
off it.
about the kneecap, he would have a hard time kneeling because there is a huge rivet and a bolt right in front of the knee,
Right.
so he couldn't use that. Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's backwards.
This is a temporary loaner. This is before you get the
You're
full
slowly losing that tour you're getting.
All right, I'm gonna want the origin version.
The origin.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
I
full
want
leg.
the luxury leg. Okay. Yes.
I want LTI on my leg, please.
Oh man.
Mm.
Well, that ended that conversation. Nice one, guys.
He said the.
I was just
LTI.
reading Toys chat.
Yeah.
I noticed they didn't show it a lot from the front though. They kind of just.
Oh, that's what we're gonna get at CitizenCon, right? There's gonna be a
front view.
box
From
on
the
the
front.
stage, right, with smoke coming out of it. They open the top of it, and there's an Origin prosthetic leg sat
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and Chris just
my God.
gets it out and holds it above his head. This is the future.
Yes, the box.
everyone.
The box is going to be
That
a
would be
hologram, though, and it's just going to be a blue line box.
If they were going to
Is
do
he-
that, I would invite my friend Jack, who actually has a prosthetic leg, and that way I'd put him right in the front row just to look really sad when he brought the leg out, just to fuck with Chris. Because Jack would eat that up. Jack
What's my leg?
he's the biggest
that was,
practical joker ever. He literally fucks with people's leg. We used to go to the bar, and he would like leave his leg like laid around and stuff. It was great. So I can see
Last
he'd be
year-
into that.
Last
So
year.
just
I work.
see-
I work.
No,
Oh,
my
sorry.
turn.
So
Last
what
year was
box?
the one where they had the box on stage, right, with the smoke and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yep.
and where like everybody thought Chris was gonna like come out of the box, at least on the stream, because you couldn't tell how big the box was.
But we
then-
saw him there bring the box out. The box.
Yeah,
it
sure.
was like,
But
oh,
on
Chris,
stream, it was like, oh, he's gonna come out of the box.
Yeah.
And
the box
but yeah,
is this
no,
big.
it's that big. Yeah, I know. It was funny.
It'd be hilarious. Chris gets
I-
stuck in the box.
I work for a recycling company, and obviously we get people bringing boxes full of crap, and we were going through a box full of crap. Oh, nice, a Sega Genesis, that's pretty cool. Oh, a coffee machine, that's nice. Oh, a prosthetic leg. Somebody actually brought in a box with a prosthetic
Hey,
leg.
if you don't need it anymore. Okay, I was at an Aerosmith concert when I was 12. My first concert I ever went to. And at the end of the concert, this is how you know you're getting old as a performer, I think. But someone threw their prosthetic leg on stage, and Steven Tyler held up this prosthetic leg. And he's like, "Thanks, I guess. This is the first time this has ever happened."
Hey,
Do
if
you
you
want
want
it
to
back?
leave a memory, right?
It was. I mean, that's. He's like, "This is the first time." He's like, "All my time, this is the first time a prosthetic leg."
Yeah.
Wow.
Hilarious.
Caught up in the moment, I guess.
So what are you gonna do?
Sandy's
Limp
face.
home? I mean, what
Well,
the hell are
some-
you gonna do?
I know, but some people just want to leave an impression, right? They don't care.
He
like-
probably wants to get it signed. Sign my fucking leg and throw it back.
Yeah, he probably wanted to throw it back.
yeah. It's like,
Sandy, please don't click play, because Sandy looks so excited for
I know, she's
CitizenCon,
like,
doesn't she?
all we need, the
Screenshot
only
that.
thing that would be better,
She'll love it.
the only thing would be better is if she had both fists up by her chin like this. You know, just like,
Let's screenshot it, print
The
it,
Captain
and then
Richards
ask her to
pose,
sign it.
if you will.
yeah, the Captain Richard pose. That'd be perfect. Oh, I don't know. Can I screenshot that?
All right.
Is it a thing? Can I do that?
Use
I
the
mean, I
pen
think
tool.
it is a thing. And then have all of our faces down here too.
I think if you try
Except
to
for me,
screenshot YouTube, doesn't it just turn it black?
You guys all look
Well-
awesome. My camera looks like I'm taking my picture with a toaster. I don't know why.
The problem is if I bring up my my Stream Deck software, it's going to be right in the middle of all of us again.
Don't worry
That's
about
fine.
it.
It's just for a
It's fine.
second. At this
do
point in
it.
the night, this is where we're all having fun. It's
Just hit print screen and see what the hell
Look,
happens.
it's the last Space Bros podcast before
CitizenCon,
CitizenCon.
exactly.
If you want to
It's
save
like
that,
before
man,
you break up
Since
for
you-
Christmas.
Since you brought it up.
if
so
you
you
want
don't
to
have to
save
give a
that,
gift and then you get together after.
I already got it.
hit print screen and just paste it in Discord.
Dude,
I think
Snippy
expectations are reasonably low at this point here, so I think it's all good.
I always get weird expressions from Sandy when I pause stuff.
Dude, whenever you pause it, I love her to death, but She's got a weird expression on her face every time.
Oh, that's a great one.
I could get one.
Oh, that's a good one there.
Nah, that's fuzzy. I like that one.
There we go.
Super serious.
Yeah, it's like, now I
That's
never
an emo
said
right
we were
there.
Now,
gonna get-
Mitachi, I know I said you could stay up till 10, but it's 10:15 right now, and I'm telling you, you need to go to bed, son.
So, Mitt, when you do that tour, can I come as your +1 or
No, they don't let.
just
one.
one?
I don't think we get pluses.
We asked. I wish.
Yeah, did they specify though?
Yeah.
Oh, they did. Oh, damn.
Yep. Do not bring anybody else that's not actually on the tour besides yourself. Blah blah blah. They did all that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're hardcore on that one.
Yeah. Well, screw everyone else, huh?
Yeah. Well,
They
I mean,
said
they
this-
scheduled for everybody. I don't know. It's going to be a nickel tour anyway. I mean, I've never been on one. That's why I'm going. But it'll be it won't be like when you get a tour with like 5 of your buddies and go do it. It'll be like, okay, here's where everybody sits. Look at all this. Oh yeah, okay, NDA. Here we go. Now we'll show you something cool. Woo! All right, you're done.
Pretty much. Yep. Have a
it
nice.
was-
Yeah,
ride
I
back.
don't.
Yeah.
I
just
didn't
wanna see
figure
the
it would
building.
be too crazy, honestly.
No, because people, I've talked the difference. People have gone on the CitizenCon version tour versus they made a special trip over to one of the studios. They get a little bit more elaborate tour. The people that fly out and make their own, get their own scheduled tour. It's a little more in depth. And plus, to be fair, I think in Austin, really all we're going to really be able to see is like where the guys work and just the office in general. Whereas if you go over to LA or one of the other ones where they're making something a little bit different, more behind the scenes, I think you get a little bit different stuff there.
I have a question, kind of on this note. The original concierge, one of the original concierge perks, was getting into events an hour earlier than other people. I like how that disappeared.
Well, it probably disappeared
Did you
as
notice
they
that?
got over 10,000 concierge.
Yeah, everybody's
Probably,
a concierge.
Yeah, it's like
I know. I like how that disappeared. Like, man, I would like to get into the con with you guys, but I can't. I have a pleb ticket, so
yeah.
I'll be waiting in line while you guys are nice and dry inside.
My guess is we're probably all waiting in
Can
line
you-
a lot longer than we probably plan to. Who
Yes.
knows?
Yeah.
If you're that pleb, you'd end up carrying everybody's bag.
300,
Through
350
security.
of
You know
us.
that one guy.
Bring your range
I'll take
slicker.
one for the team.
350 of us will get in early.
Oops, sorry. Is the weather going to be that bad down there?
No, it's supposed to be done raining at 4 a.m. That's what the current
On
weather
Wednesday.
shows on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tuesday night is supposed to be rainy all fucking night, all night.
Thank
All
God
right,
we'll
well,
be
we'll
at a
be-
place that has a rooftop area that we'll be at.
Damn straight.
Exactly.
Be dry. Be snob hopping with the Star Citizen peeps. It's going to be great.
It'll be the most disgusting wet t-shirt contest you ever see at the Bar Citizen because
For sure.
Were you watching my stream, Matochi?
No, I
Because I've got all this worked out.
did you tell me about it? I want to hear.
No, I just
'cause
firmly believe
as,
that
as
we should
Chris
have.
looks very scoldingly at you.
Yeah, he is.
Chris-
He's judging you.
Chris will love this idea. So
Oh, I'm sure.
I think that we should make an annual wet t-shirt competition
Oh, okay.
where it's an opportunity
I'm
for
liking this so
CIG
far.
to show off their new t-shirts and everybody to encourage people to take part. They get a free t-shirt, and then the winner can get a useless ship like a Banu Merchantman, for example, that they can sell shoes from. And I'm just really eager to try and push this along. So if there is anybody watching,
All right, but
who's
when
going to
when a
CitizenCon,
guy wins, what's wrong? Because I mean, I would show up, but I'd win that thing.
oh, I don't know, I've got some nice bosoms, my friend.
I think I got a little weight on you.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
about
well-
volume. What about perkiness?
It's about what you do with it, my friend.
Oh, I mean,
bringing
we've
the
got
tassels.
tassels and everything. Yeah,
Oh,
Jinx.
Well, I do have my daughter's bedazzler. I mean, we could go there. This could be a thing.
Oh, I bedazzled tassels might win. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, someone straight in chat was like, "I'll win."
Like I said, it'd probably be the most uncomfortable wet t-shirt contest ever.
I'm uncomfortable right now.
Are you?
Well,
Judgment.
What is being drawn? Is that what?
Judgment.
Were you having a stroke when you did that? What?
It's with the mouse. I don't have my Wacom up here. It's like it's terrible because it clicks on and off. Like if you draw, look at this, the line.
Give him a mustache.
How dare you? I would never do that to Chris.
I've never, as it happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Never do that. All right.
Oh, you released his face.
Yep. It's perfect.
Feel like we're missing a whole hour's worth of content here with
So
no
was it good
RTV.
It was good.
Yeah,
Like a turret.
Hey, I'll tell
I
you
think
what, the
we've
Space
skipped-
Bros every week make that show last way longer than what it actually does.
I feel like we skipped
Oh, let's go back to
the large elephant in the room with that show.
I think we didn't even talk about that.
I
We
don't
didn't
know.
even talk about
Hey,
that
it was
elephant.
really boring. Like,
We didn't even talk
The
about.
best part about the whole show. The
That
best
is
part about the show. Yeah, skip right past.
You mean the meat and potatoes of that show? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the thing that probably, hopefully, everybody already knows about.
And what was it? What does he say? A triple FPS?
That's what I heard. Yeah, I heard.
Triple digit.
Now, careful. Not all the time, but the fact that they're even seeing it at all ever once is honestly pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause-
dumbfounded.
pretty much. Yeah. So something about FPS, no CS. Yeah, I don't know. Something about those things.
boy,
I'm not sure what OCS is. Could somebody explain it to me?
There's
All
whole
right,
videos for it.
Now we're going till 3 a.m. Thank you. Yeah,
Okay,
But
but
it's
OCS is
620.
kind of important.
kind of is. Yeah.
Eden says she always has a look that can kill. Yeah, but isn't that what kind of makes Sandy a little hot? The fact she has that, like, I will jack you up, dude. Look, when she looks sideways like that.
You reckon she carries a shiv at all times?
does.
just
I don't
in
think
case?
she needs to.
Made out of a
I,
toothbrush.
I don't think she needs to. I think she has like probably a comb in her purse
Yeah.
or something that also doubles as like a.
This
I
is
think-
the
I think
this is
DR
the
said something right before this, so she's like, "I will just
Chris,
wait."
stay on script and don't fuck this one up. Is what.
Quit putting your hands in my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Her
like-
life must just constantly be reining in Chris Roberts.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Probably, especially with the kids and stuff, because he's probably like, "Oh yeah, sure, go ahead."
I can
Go
just
ahead.
See, I can see
And
his
she's-
daughters like Krista say that, like, yeah, go ahead, and then she's sitting there and she gives him that look right there.
Like,
Yeah.
right
Can you
there.
imagine,
Like,
can you imagine if they go to
okay.
can you imagine if they go to the hardware store together and the guy there is like, "Can I help you?" And Chris is like, "Yes, I'm building a tree house for the girl."
yeah.
Now let me tell you what I need.
Yeah.
I'd like it to be 4 stories, be able to withstand gale force winds,
yeah.
And it's got to have
Yeah.
it's got to have gigabit Ethernet in it.
gigabit Ethernet.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the face. That needs to be an emote right there.
That's the face where it's like, what the hell did you just say to me?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's what it is. It's perfect.
Oh,
I feel like we're talking about Sandy too much. We should probably move on
Yeah,
while
should
we
probably
still
move on.
can.
Let's go
How
to,
about we talk
let's go
about
to
OCS?
camera, like,
Love you, Sandy.
we'll go to a scene
Yeah.
that's not as dangerous. This one seems safer.
There we go. That's better.
And remember, guys,
Yes.
if you have questions, we're going to talk some more about OCS. We're going to talk about CitizenCon and all that jazz some more, too. But if you have questions for the cast about any subject we talked about or anything related to Star Citizen in general at all you have to do is type ! questions in chat, and it will bring up the little forum. You can click on the little link, and you can ask your questions to the whole cast, and we'll get to them here in just a little bit. All right, so OCS, huge news, and I have mixed feelings about it. Mostly happy, but the mixed feelings were also that somebody made a very interesting point on Reddit. People were like, "Hey, would you?" It's funny how this works. They pushed back OCS for months and months, and then they come out and they say, "Hey, we're gonna have to delay it for at least a month and a half, 2 months." And then the fact that they brought it back to the delayed time that they delayed it by the month and a half, we're really ecstatic about it
Whoa.
now. And I'm
I'm
like,
confused. You
I have
lost me on the second line.
Say about this.
yeah,
So I don't have an issue with that. So here's
Yeah.
the thing. So what happened is this. Now I had a lot of issues with the way it was communicated. very clearly. We went over that ad.
You
absurdum.
did. You never told me.
I know, it's weird, right? So I had an issue with the way it was communicated, but here's what happened. Unlike in years past, where they've used the Chris Roberts engineer, everything's already solved in my mind, therefore it's all going to work, kind of pushing it right up to the brink, right? Instead of doing that this year, they said, all right, look, I don't know if we're going to make it with this OCS thing or not, so let's just take it out of 3.3 just to be safe, and let's see how it goes. But then what happened is it actually turned out way better than they hoped. So they did the smart thing and planned for the worst, but the best happened, and it turns out that it's actually performing really, really well. So they added it back in. That's all that happened. Like, that's what they should have been doing all along, but they finally learned how to do that. I think it's great the way that happened.
I was going to say you're mad about that, but no, you said it's great. That's what I'm so happy about.
Yeah.
They went ahead of time, and we got this a month ago almost. Look, guys, we're not going to make it. I don't think we're going to make it. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do this.
And that's,
I was totally fine with that.
And the only issue I had with the communication was a little bit on how they presented it, and it was on the heels of people were still salty about the paywall stuff and all that. But we can't.
Which was nothing.
Yeah, which was nothing. Because I'd be fine with a paywall if they would have announced it 6 months earlier when they announced this. Kind of like, hey, we're going to charge for this one so we can make it epic, and everybody would have been like, woo! But 30 days out, that was kind of an issue.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But with this thing, we can't really bitch about it because they basically did exactly what we asked them to do, and that's tell us when they couldn't deliver something and not restrict the build or push the whole build because of the thing and move it over to the next build and all that stuff. So I think they did a great job with that. And now the fact that we're getting it, the thing that makes me the most happy about it isn't so much that, hey, it's not going to be in 3.35 now, it's going to be in 3.3. It's the fact that they didn't have to go the path like what Chris described, where they'd have to have two development teams. They'd have to have a team work on non-OCS and a team work on OCS version in parallel. And that kills a huge amount of development time because you have two teams basically doing redundant work, but there were two different builds they would have had to manage as they press forward. That's been eliminated now. So that's not even an issue because you're going to get OCS in 3.3.
Yeah.
The one thing they mentioned was the developers were getting super confused about which branch they were supposed to be sending their work to, which does make sense.
Yeah,
it sure does.
Parallel builds are... It's great for redundancy so they can deliver something because they're trying to, future-proof themselves so that way they could give us more content in 3.3 minus OCS. But the fact that they had to do that redundant aspect of it was just a problem. And I had a couple people message me and they said, well, Mitachi, they still have a 3.35, so aren't they having redundant branches anyway? I said, no, that is purely different content. That is for the new location. And yes, it would have been nice to come in 3.3, but it won't cause them to have another whole development branch. Yeah. The guys who are working on that can continue. The people, once 3.3 are delivered, they can be working on bugs, or they can start moving towards 3.4.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the other kind of secret, and don't tell anybody, but whether you're using GitHub or SVS or SVN or any of those other things, CBS, all those code version management systems, none of them really manage branches and merging branches and all that stuff extremely well. So you're really better off not messing with that stuff because anytime you're branching things out, it creates kind of a mess on the code side. So I think they made the right choice there.
Yeah. Smart move. I'm glad they were able to get it hammered into where they could do it though. Because to be honest, as much as like I mentioned the criticism of them pushing it, and the fact we celebrate when they reel it in a little bit, they had no choice in the matter. People that make comments like that also don't realize that they had no choice. OCS wasn't delivered 6-8 months ago because it wasn't done. It wasn't like they went, let's just leave this out for a while and we're not going to mess with it because, it seems fun. It's like if they could have delivered it earlier, they would have.
Well, I've said it once, if I've said it a million times, I would much rather them give us a nice, decent, and I say decently because we're in alpha, right? Decently stable thing versus, okay, look, we're forcing this down your throat because we said we'd have it done. So here's what we have. and it's choppy and it's crap.
Right.
Yeah, I'd much rather have a nice, decent build. So I'm perfectly fine with everything they've done up to and including, if it gets done right, 3.3.5.
Yep.
Or Hurston or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, that's now just adding in Hurston and the moons, right?
Yeah. Whenever they get Lorville and all that stuff done.
Yeah.
And no fly zones. Don't forget
Yeah,
that.
but I'm even good with them pushing that out because they're going to be able to now. The patch is going to be mostly a couple of new assets plus OCS, and so all the testing is going to be about mainly OCS, and not also Hurston and the other new big feature. And then that gets added later, so we can then kind of separate out the testing on those things. So I think that's a good choice as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Well, and I've said this on my stream. Okay, so we get 3.3, and then we get 3.5, so whichever that is. So we're getting actually some content now, a little bit of content in the future, and then 3.4.
Yep.
So it's actually going to break up some monotony. I'm not totally against that.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't want to set that as a standard though, because I don't want them to kind of do small builds in between the quarterlies. And it's going to get really convoluted. And I hate to put it this way, but we're in 3.35. We're just getting our location, which is cool. But is it going to be 2 weeks cool, or is it going to be whatever?
And this,
I'm more.
oh my god! I wish you were. I said this on my stream yesterday, and I wish you had been there because a couple of people started chewing me out, and they were like, "But we're getting a planet." I'm like, "Yeah, which will keep us entertained for about 30 seconds."
Yeah. I'm more excited, and that's why the people. What makes me really upset is the people that say, "Well, 3.3, we get nothing." I'm like, all you get in 3.35 is a planet and some moons. Without the content of 3.3. You ain't got fucking shit to do there. I mean, you need that other stuff there. That's the important part.
Yeah.
There's trams and elevators and stuff to take there.
Listen, we have elevators.
I got a
You can
merry-go-round about 2 blocks from
ride
my
the
fucking
trams.
house. I can go ride for free too, repeatedly. And my
That
kids
was-
will
that
do
was-
that.
whatever you
sorry.
want, but
We completely missed something in ATV. That was the biggest announcement. They fixed the elevator.
Yes,
in
I heard
graphics.
that. Yes.
that wasn't a big problem for me.
Oh, it was for me.
I never
You know how
died
many
on
times
the
I died?
elevator.
And the crazy thing was, well, it just shows the type of person I am, really. The door would open. There's no elevator there. So I step in, I'm like, no, is it just invisible?
Yeah, we have some Wile E. Coyote test this.
Yeah.
And then I fall to my death. And I do it every time and never learn.
Yeah.
There we go. That's resolved now.
Crazy. Oh,
The most important thing is the elevators at Levski, I think.
Mm.
Those aren't going to
Those-
be real yet, are they?
I don't know.
No, they're
so.
going to be real.
I think the
Are they
most,
in
the most
3.3?
important thing
Yes.
is the frame
Yes,
rate
they've said
increase is what is going to be a thing. So, because there's so many bugs, and I had a huge argument about this on my stream yesterday, but there's so many bugs produced in this game by low frame rate issues.
Oh, yeah. Lots of them.
Because and anybody who's actually had low frame rate and then a decent frame rate knows exactly what I'm talking about. The bugs, some bugs are eliminated by getting over 45 frames. If you go over 45 frames, you don't even experience certain stutters. You don't experience certain bugs. No hit detection's way better. And people are like, oh, no, that's a whole different system. Well, then apparently you haven't experienced those two modes because I don't know why. I'm not technically knowledgeable in like how that works, but when I have higher frame rates, it seems
helps
like
the bikes
shit
as well,
works.
apparently.
Yeah. So
Because of the way it's not ray tracing, is it?
Ray
what's it
tracing?
called? No, it's ray
ray casting.
Ray casting.
Not ray tracing.
Thank
no.
you.
yeah.
You're welcome.
And ray casting requires a higher frame rate.
It does. Yep. And there's a lot of that in this as well. All the physics stuff is all timing related. So, yeah, it's a big deal. So hopefully, plus the other thing we're getting is the FPS AI, which is a big thing.
Yep,
Right. 3.3. Even though still a big fan of getting the planet because we get to go big distances and do that. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I agree. 3.3 is going to be good. So
Yeah, I'm
Can't
more
wait.
excited about the travel mechanic between the planet than I
Yeah.
am the planet.
yeah, for sure. Although I want to see I want to see new biomes.
I do
That'll
want
be
to see new biomes.
Yeah.
I
The
think it's going to be cool
biomes,
to
yes.
look at. But I think the mechanic of traveling those larger distances, I'm more excited about than having another planet, because I want to feel that. And I know there's going to be so many people in the community that are going to be like, oh my God, this takes too long. And other people are like, that's not long enough. And we're going to have that whole argument. While the rest of people keep arguing about the flight model for the next.
Do you remember when they said it's going to take 40 minutes to get from point A to point B, or like from one end of the solar system to the other?
They did say that, and
there was a giant backlash.
Well,
it's not going to be like that. That's like if you went from one end of playable space all the way to the other.
Yeah, you're never going to do that. You're never going to go all the way to the very edge of where you can go to the other edge of where you can go, because all the shit's in the middle.
Right.
So, and even
it's
if it
not
was,
going to be nearly that bad.
I'd want it to be like that. I'd want it to be, because they'll introduce gameplay elements that would make up for that distance, or it'd be a huge reward at the, if you had to jump. Say there was no other way to
and
get
this
to
is the
this
thing.
point
So
than
they mentioned like this 8-minute timer for traveling in quantum, and there were a couple of things. A lot of people complained about that, but in my head, right, I looked at it from two different angles. One, if I'm in a fighter, it does make it a little bit shitty, but you're in a fighter, and I'm pretty sure actual fighter pilots in real life, it is genuinely really shit when they're flying for hours and hours and hours.
Yes.
But then if you're in a multi-cruise ship and you're quantuming for like 8 minutes, when we finally can repair things in our ships, we can get out of the seat and go and repair things. And that is what I really look forward to.
Well, and think about the scale up in that. Think about in a capital ship, right? If every jump only takes 2 or 3 minutes, like some people want, if you're in a freaking Bengal, when are you actually going to go eat? When are you going to go? You have no downtime. It's like, oh, we're here already. Well, I couldn't even walk from front to back of the ship in the amount of time it took me to jump,
I'm just to get what Moist was talking about. There's a big difference between going around the planet, and I mean the planet like Earth, on a C-17 or a C-5 versus an F-16.
Yep.
Right, because you got to refuel multiple times in a fighter. You literally have to. You can't get across the Atlantic without refueling a few times in a fighter.
And that's what people
But if you're in a C5, you can go halfway around the world before you do anything.
And that's the way it should work in game. And that's what people don't understand. They want a Super Hornet to be able to just fly back and forth in a solar. Oh, you're only in one solar system.
That's not how it works.
It's not how it works. It's tens of thousands, if not millions of kilometers you're traveling, depending what you're doing there. Your Hornet shouldn't be able to go as far as an Idris.
No way, shape, or form.
And plus, as the pilot, you have to fight that boredom of this big long trip to get where you are, because then when you get there, you may go right into combat, and so you have to then be ready to do that. So that's also kind of a big psychological thing that happens as well. So I think that there should be travel times. I mean, that's obviously,
and that's half the reason fighters.
And the thing is,
shouldn't go that far.
It gives a use for ships that carry fighters.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a reason as a pilot to actually dock and stay on the Javelin or whatever.
Or if you're a solo player and all you have is a fighter, it gives you a reason to pay for passage, pay to have your fighter moored inside a carrier of some sort or a transport, and then move to that other area, or pick up a ride and do that stuff. That's what makes sense. Exactly. The problem is we're starting to see this shift in culture in Star Citizen from like everything's dogfighting to it's a wider universe than that. It's not just about dogfighting. You're going to have caps. You're going to have all these bigger things. And I know half a chat will be like, but they don't have any capitals yet, Mitachi, so it doesn't really matter. Every single thing that everybody argues about that with the flight model or anything else is irrelevant to me, because they're going to rebalance it again when they put capitals in. Everything you think you know about speed, everything you think you know about how it should fly and all this shit will change again. And we'll be back at the same argument again in 6 months when it's like, oh, now they introduced a cap. Well, the caps need to go faster top end than what the fighters do. Well, what?
Yeah.
And we'll go through this whole deal all over again. It'll just be the same thing. And I just don't understand why we can't be a little patient with the flight model for right now. I don't care if it hovers over your planet that has nothing to do on it. And let's focus on game mechanics, get that stuff done. I don't know if they want to work on flight mechanics, fix the effing missile flight mechanics.
No. Missiles bouncing off of things is part of the.
Yeah.
That's what people are like. Oh, I can't wait to get my freelancer the miss. Can't wait to get my miss.
They've
Why? So
essentially
your missiles can bounce off of everything.
they've essentially
Yeah.
eliminated almost, in my opinion, about 6 to 10 ships that most people would normally buy because missiles don't work. Because
We
they're
will
missile
blot
and
out the
torpedo based
sun
now.
with our
With-
dirty missiles.
With our missiles that have deflected.
Like, how many people own a Gladiator now? They used to be a hot ship.
What's
Not,
a
How many
not
people
I.
actually- Yeah, most
Not
people
I.
don't because they're irrelevant because they're entirely missile based, and that's going to be
Still
the same
like the
thing.
ship though.
I think it's an amazing ship, and
Yeah.
it will be essential ship when you have functional carriers because it's carrier based, fighter bomber.
yeah.
I mean, those type of things are going to be what keeps your, Idrises and stuff in space floating around. But if the missiles don't work, they're a big tub. They don't do anything.
Yep.
So more problems. All right. We'll cruise through the monthly report a little bit here. All these guys look like they have googly eyes. I want to put big googly eyes on their masks.
I'm
like their
assuming
stuff.
that's night vision, but God, they look dumb.
Yeah, this.
I'm sorry, those helmets
yeah.
look retarded.
It looks like a different game. I'm fine with the variants and stuff like that, but at that angle, it looks like it's a different game.
No, this is
It's
what they
Rainbow
look
Six.
like to me. I'm sorry.
But look, okay, look at the